We're going to get started. We're running a little bit late. I hope everybody enjoyed the keynote. So I've been doing this session for a couple years now, and what keeps us going is the high ratings, 5. We have a really great panel here today. Before we get started, just really quickly, you guys have seen this, and you'll probably see it a million times more. This is our safe harbor statement. Salesforce.com is a publicly traded company. You can check us out under the ticker symbol CRM. If you want to read more about this, please feel free to go to our investor relations section on our website. My name is Sean Whiteley, and this is Search Engine Marketing Junkies. I'm a search engine marketing junkie myself, and we have a really great panel of search engine marketing junkies here. I've met all of these people over the years through my travels. In 2006, I founded a company where we were setting out to actually build a bid optimization tool, a bid management tool. We wanted to build basically a tool that allowed one person to buy keywords and basically have keyword arbitrage across the different pay-per-click platforms that were out there, being Yahoo, search marketing at the time, Google, and MSN, which is now Bing. I learned some very important lessons very quickly. One, that most people care a lot more about Google than they do about anything else. So we built our first sort of ad-serving application, and I opened it up to a set of trusted testers, and these were people that I had worked with over the years. The first thing they told me is that I wasn't building what they needed. So we kind of went back to the drawing board, and a mentor of mine, who was a former boss of mine, I think used the words, don't build stupid things. I don't care how many impressions and clicks I'm getting. What I care about is how many leads, how many opportunities, and how many deals are coming from these keywords that I'm buying that are getting increasingly more competitive and more increasingly difficult to manage. So what we did is we went back to the drawing board, and we basically decided that bringing CRM into the mix with search engine marketing provided you a whole new level of visibility into what is actually important to you as a B2B marketer. How many people in here run search marketing for their company? All right. So there's a lot of junkies in here. That's great. So over the years, one of our first customers and one of the people who didn't call us stupid but said that there were other things we could be focusing on was Howard Brown. And Howard Brown is someone I've come to respect tremendously over the years. He's built and sold a couple different companies based on the fact that he understands how the web works. He gets optimizing all of your web properties. He gets relevance. He understands how search engines work. He understands how SEO and SEM work together. So I'm really happy to have Howard here, and he's going to be focused today on search engine optimization and search engine marketing and the confluence of these two practices and how you should think about it. Terry Whalen I met, interestingly enough. He blogged about my application, which is called Salesforce for Google AdWords, and how he couldn't get it working, and this guy, Sean, wouldn't return his call. So I actually looked him up. I shot him an email. We got him up and going very quickly, and he very quickly took the blog down and said Sean was very helpful, so thank you very much.
Thanks,
Terry runs his own, he's an entrepreneur. He runs his own search marketing company. It's a local SEM company called CPC Search. And what Terry's going to talk about today is sort of a holistic approach to search engine marketing. Okay? Lauren Vaccarello? Vaccarello, okay. Lauren Vaccarello actually works at Salesforce.com, and she runs our search engine marketing practice at Salesforce.com, which is a pretty big mountain. We have, I think, 6 Google AdWords accounts alone in the United States, more globally, and it's a huge challenge, and Lauren is going to be doing that. She also is a guest blogger on the popular site SEO Chicks. Jason Stewart, if you don't know him, he actually runs the local Salesforce user group. So you'll see, if you start to follow Jason on Facebook, you can see kind of what's happening with user groups. And Jason also is a masterful search marketer. He was also one of my early customers, one of our trusted tester customers at my company that was called Keaton, that's now Salesforce for Google AdWords. And we learned a lot from Jason about what he really needed as a B2B marketer that has a pipeline number on his head for lead gen. So we learned a lot from him. So we've got a really great panel. And what I'd like to do today I want to keep it really short, so I really want to talk for about 10 minutes about who they are, who their company is, and what they're really passionate about. You guys probably got some questions. What I want to use the majority of the time to do today is I want to actually get you guys involved. I want you guys to ask questions. We have a very good panel here. They know a ton about SEO and SEM and analytics and getting the best return on investment. And these are master B2B marketers. And what I really want to do is get you guys involved and you guys ask questions. So this is a panel. In about 10 minutes, we're going to open it up. What I'd also like to do is offer you up the opportunity to do a live audit of any of your search marketing campaigns you have going on, or any of your website properties or landing pages, anything you have going on right now. If you want to actually jump up on the microphone, I'm going to drive. We'll go to it. They'll give you some perspective on how they might optimize it, or maybe not. Maybe you guys already know how to do it. And at that point, what I'd like to do is offer you up some free consulting. So Lauren has been kind enough to offer up anyone who drops their business card afterwards and who asks a question, who offers up their campaign, some free consulting. And this could be keyword research. This could be looking at your ad groups or your campaigns that are running or your landing pages. It could be kind of teaching you some things about analytics if you're still trying to understand that. So if you get up, ask a question, volunteer your site for a live audit. We're all friends in here, by the way. We're only trying to make it better. Lauren will help you out with some free consulting.
Are we talking about 100 hours free consulting?
It depends on, it has to be a really good question and a really good audit to do that. So at this point, just so you guys know who these guys are up here, they're sitting left to right. You guys switch. Okay, now we're sitting left to right.
That was a multivariate test.
Howard, Terry, Jason, and Lauren. So again, Howard is going to talk about sort of the intersection of SEO and SEM. And in a lot of companies and a lot of organizations I've been in, SEO is being done by an IT organization. SEM is being done by a marketing organization. And Howard's got some strong perspectives on that. He's going to talk to you a little bit about that. And if you have questions along those lines, please think about it as we're going along here. And what I've also asked them to do is write down some key takeaways. So if you got too much PowerPoint and all you can think about is chattering teeth right now, think of some. I've asked them for a couple takeaways. Like, these are things like, if you take nothing away from this session right now, these are some things you should be thinking about. So I've asked them for a couple takeaways as well. But as they're talking here about themselves and their company and some of the things they're really passionate about and their key takeaways, think about some questions you might want to ask. And if there's some of you out there who want to actually do a live site audit, start thinking about like what campaign or what landing page or what web property you'd like us to analyze, and we'll do that in real time. Okay? So at this point, I'm going to hand it over to Howard.
Well, thank you. Thanks a lot, Sean. When I first met Sean and Craig, when they had built Keaton, I thought it was actually brilliant. I didn't think anything was stupid about it. It just didn't service the needs of the company that I had built at the time. The core concept of the product they built, which is now SFGA, is the ability to test all of your keywords, essentially, to figure out which keywords were actually converting into leads, opportunities, and closes. And the tool was brilliant. And today, I think it really is the cornerstone of Salesforce marketing. Where the tool fell short for us was the company that I had founded at the time was called fortherapy.com. You could forward, actually. It was called fortherapy.com, and what it was the largest network of health-related sites. It represented about 400 unique web properties, 400,000 pages of unique content. We had 400 toll-free numbers. We were testing approximately 14,000 keywords and dwindled that list to 1,400. So when these guys showed up at the door to sell their product, I was like, it's falling just a little bit short. I love the name of this session. It's absolutely perfect, Search Engine Marketing Junkies, because people who know me and know Demand Results, our firm, will comment that we're absolutely obsessed with search engine marketing. It's one of those things that I'm excited to talk about. I'm excited to be in marketing during this day and age, because what the internet has brought us is truly the greatest testing platform ever available for marketing. You no longer have to sit in boardrooms with executives and have them give you opinions and then you have to go implement. You can now take those opinions and test against them. I think I got feedback. Thanks. And that's what's so exciting. We focus at Demand Results on search engine marketing, certainly for lead generation, but what we like to do is we really want to find out what, sorry about the feedback, we really want to find out not only what keywords are converting into leads and then sales, but we want to then find out how we can take that information and develop SEO campaigns around it. We walk into a lot of companies, as you can see some of the companies down below, Kaseya, Cheesecake Factory, CRC Health. We actually were the strategic lead for Salesforce.com on their SEO efforts last year and helped them on the relaunch of their site as well. But we like to go in and evaluate keywords and then help develop a strategy around the SEO efforts. And there's no better way to develop that strategy than to look at your keywords. And given the tools, the SFGA, the ability to actually get a view of your potential client and how they found your website, that's what you should be optimizing for, folks. That is the richest data out there. Moving along. We focus very much on social media marketing as well. We utilize it. We've built Facebook applications, but we really use social media as well for SEO campaigns because getting people to talk about your products, your services, and link back to it is highly valuable. This is a perfect example of what Sean actually, you guys built this slide, and what it allows for the first time is for you as a marketer to get a look at your leads, how your advertisements are turning into customers, how your landing pages are converting. What's missing in this slide is really the keys to the kingdom. And if you hit the thing again, what SFGA and Salesforce has provided you, again, is really the golden key. It is the ability to have a look at your customer, how they're searching for your products, and then ultimately whether or not they convert. We actually launched a free product called SEO for Salesforce, and it's the kind of product Sean has, only it gives you insight not only to the keywords that people found you from your Google AdWords, but also from your SEO, your organic campaigns. So it attaches to your lead and opportunity objects. Very into testing, again, landing pages, so on. I know we want to move forward. We're out of time here, so I'll pass it over.
So I'm Terry Whalen, and I'm Managing Director of CPC Search, which is a paid search agency here in San Francisco, and we kind of have a special focus on B2B, so we have a lot of B2B clients. And I've been doing this stuff for a few years now, and you can move right along. So we actually fit into a kind of a box because we're really kind of paid search focused. We do some SEO, a little bit of social media marketing, but paid search is the majority of what we do, and for us that scales really well for our different clients. So when Sean was talking to us on the conference call, what would you guys like to talk about? And you're kind of racking your brain thinking, well, what sounds good to talk about, but what do I really think is meaningful for folks? And for me, it's really this concept of a lot of times people can start thinking and talking about, keywords, or ad messaging, or landing pages, or bid management. And all these things are topics unto themselves. But for me, I like to talk about how I think it really is valuable to take kind of a holistic approach to search engine marketing and paid search, and certainly B2B paid search. And one of the ways I kind of think about it is it's a little bit like a stereo system, and so the output that you get might only be as good as kind of the weakest component. And so, each of those ingredients in paid search and B2B paid search marketing are kind of equally important. You can have great keywords and really poor ad messaging, and your campaigns aren't going to do a whole lot. You can have really well thought out ads with a neat call to action and an offer and all that. And if your keyword lists aren't very good, you're probably going to fall short. And you can have beautiful keywords and ads and have poor landing pages. You know, maybe the forms don't even work, and again, your campaigns will probably fall short. So the ingredients are keywords, ads, landing pages. The wrapper around it all is conversion tracking. Certainly Salesforce for Google AdWords is a really important component of that with all of our B2B clients. And I think that's what I wanted to say with that. And then for key takeaways, for me, kind of the nuggets are very oftentimes we will end up turning off the Google Search Partner Network for our B2B clients. We typically never do this for our consumer types of clients, but for B2B, the Google Search Partner Network is composed of, you know, AOL and Ask and some of these other kind of second or third tier search environments. And we have found, and especially for our more technical clients in these more technical spaces, you might get people clicking on your ads, but you're probably going to get not a lot of qualified leads. So oftentimes we turn off the Google Search Partner Network and we just go to google.com. Pretty important distinction to make, though, is that when you are advertising outside North America, so UK, EMEA, etc., that may very well be a very bad idea to turn the search partner network off, because in non-North American countries, the Google Search Partner Network oftentimes are very high quality, very scalable search engines that are in that partner network that may be extremely appropriate to B2B. And it's always important to remember that. And then the other thing is not many folks do talk about the Geo report, and the Geo report was added not all that long ago. And it kind of, can you guys raise your hand if you have campaigns that point to multiple countries in the same campaign? Some hands went up, not a ton. So the Geo report is valuable for you if you do that. And it spits out data on a daily, by-day basis, so you bring it into Excel, run a pivot on it. But oftentimes we can find pretty important, valuable data in that Geo report, and it helps us to decide which countries we should split up from which other countries and which we should treat differently in separate campaigns. And then lastly, I think it's pretty important to, in your campaign settings, to set your ad serving to rotate, because the default setting, as probably a lot of you know, is that Google will optimize your ads based on click-through rate. Although what most of us in this room really care about is not which ads get the most clicks necessarily, but which ads have the lowest cost per conversion or lead submission or opportunity. And so pretty important to set that ad serving to rotate in, I don't know, 80% of the cases with B2B marketing. I'll leave it at that.
Hi, my name is Jason Stewart. I run online marketing programs for a software company called Demandbase, and I don't know near as much about Google AdWords as these people. I just want to get that out there right now. If you want to go ahead. The way that I met Sean, you know, well, first of all, a little background on Demandbase. Demandbase is a lead generation platform. We have a database of about 8.5 million business contacts that really powers a lot of the things that we do to help businesses generate more leads. You know, number one is you can build a list and you can buy it. Number two is by putting a little bit of code on your website, you can really dig into the quality of your web traffic, because as you know, even the most successful pay-per-click campaigns or any kind of campaigns get maybe 3 to 5% of a conversion rate, which leaves 95% of your traffic still anonymous. Demandbase can help you identify, not only the companies that are visiting your site, but sort through, all of the hay to find that needle, to find those good companies that are hitting a lot of quality pages on your site, that are right in your sweet spot, and then we can supply the business contacts for you. But the way that I met Sean, and when he came to visit me in my previous employer, I was really proud of myself. I had set up this whole system where when my leads were coming in through Google. I was capturing their keywords and populating them manually. Well, not manually, populating fields, custom fields in my leads. So whenever a lead converted and an opportunity was created, I could see which ad group it was and which keyword they used. And then Sean came in and, basically did it all for me. I did all that work for nothing because he did it and he did it better. But that's how I met Sean. But the bottom line is the reason that Sean came to see me and the reason that I'm here is what I've always really been focused on is more quality than quantity. I'm 100% focused on capturing as much information about every lead that comes in. I attach every single lead that comes in regardless of source, regardless of whether it's pay-per-click or my home page or secondary page. I have dozens of campaigns set up in Salesforce.com, so I know exactly where they came from. And every single lead that comes in gets attached to a campaign so that I can do reporting and find out what's really working, what's not working. I have campaigns set up in Salesforce.com for every ad group that I have set up. And I transfer the cost information from every ad group to the campaign. I'm 100% focused on ROI. So if you want to know if you should do broad match or exact match, talk to these guys. If you want to talk a little bit more about how to track ROI of your campaigns in Salesforce.com, I'm probably the guy that can help.
Just a tip also, if any of you out there are thinking about using Facebook, running ads on Facebook, Jason's been doing it since the very beginning, so I encourage you to ask some questions on that. Lauren?
I am Lauren Vaccarello. I am the search marketing manager for Salesforce.com. Just a quick background about me. Am I getting the feedback? As I've been doing SEM for about 6 years now in a variety of different industries, from finance, I was in online dating for a little while, B2B, almost all in the lead gen field. I'm not going to give you a huge background about the company I work for, since I think everyone here is familiar with Salesforce. But I'm going to take this time to tell a story that I don't actually think Sean knows either. About 5 years ago, I was working in the financial vertical, and I think it was 2004, and I was working for the 8th largest online advertiser. So we were spending a lot of money, and I was lucky enough to be in charge of about 95% of our spend, spending a lot of money on Google AdWords. And it's a lead gen site, offline conversion, and we're pouring money into Google AdWords. We're getting tons and tons of leads. We are spending an obscene amount of money. One day, about a year or two later, I discovered something called Salesforce for Google AdWords. I started looking into this, started looking into tying my keywords into offline conversions in Salesforce CRM. It was a completely revolutionary idea, especially in the financial vertical at that time, having this ability to actually tell you what keywords are bringing in ROI, what keywords are bringing in trading accounts, what keywords are bringing in revenue. And just from having that information, just from tying in Google AdWords information into Salesforce, the company that I used to work for isn't even on the top 100 online spend anymore. We cut their spend by about 50 or 60%, and that's about $1 million a month. So we were able to cut spend by $1 million a month, decrease the amount of leads we're getting, increase the amount of quality leads, and by cutting spend about $1 million a month, profits basically doubled for them. So they're cutting spend, and we're able to double profits, double the amount of actual real accounts versus just faulty leads that we all sort of walked around patting ourselves on the back for how many leads we got in, started looking at revenue, and now the company doesn't spend nearly as much in advertising, but are still extremely profitable even with the economy right now. So thanks.
Thank you. And by the way, these slides are all going to be available to you. You can get them on our website. They'll be up probably within the next couple of days. So
except this one, right? This one won't be in the deck, right?
This one will be. This is the main one. So thank you, guys. What I want to do now is again, I want to kind of make this interactive. So if there are people with questions, why don't you just put your hand up and ask any questions, and let me know who the question is for, or if it's for the entire panel. And also, if there's anyone here that also wants to audit their website or their campaign, why don't we'll do that next. Let's take a couple questions first. Why don't we start right here? Oh, sure. So for those of you who don't know the difference between SEO and SEM, it's kind of confusing. Search engine or SEO is organic or natural search. It's the unpaid side. So when you do a search, the stuff that comes up kind of in the middle, that's organic search. And that's basically optimizing your web property so that search engines understand what content is on the page. And just like search engine marketing, it rewards relevance. So the more clicks that you get on a link, every click that's on a link counts as a vote. And the more votes you get, the higher you are ranked by the search engine. And the algorithm that runs all that is called PageRank. And that was for Google. Sure. Sure. So I tell you what, I'm going to let Howard go into more detail, but at the high level, what you really want to do is when you look at a web page, you see images and you see text and you see bold and video and things like that. But when a search engine looks at it, all it sees is the source underneath the page. So what search engine optimization is about is making sure that your web properties have all of the tags and the metadata in a way that actually can be understood by the search engine. So,
yeah, and I think to add to that, it's not just the metadata, but it's truly the content that you have on the page. Because what the goal of the search engine is to provide the best search results and the answers to the questions that you type into the search engine. So if you develop a site that actually has good usable content, you link to that content not only on your site, but from other sites, and you get other people to link to that content. That's one of the factors to help push you up in the search engine.
We call it link love at Salesforce.com. Lots of people who have really good websites link to your content. We call it link love, and the more link love you have, the more you're going to show.
Right. Yeah, so did you want to?
I was going
This is a
to
section all of
take a quick,
all of itself.
as a quick aside, just to how I always try to explain sort of the off-page. To rank for organically in Google, you need on-page and off-page. So on-page are things like your title tags need to be with keywords that you're trying to rank for. You need really good content on your page. You need all of your images tagged, but you also need this mysterious Google off-page factor. So as a very, very basic example, think of getting your website to rank organically in Google as starting your first day in high school. You go to high school, you show up, you're the new kid in school, you want to be popular. How are you popular? You make friends. Who makes you popular? Is it the captain of the football team? Is it cheerleaders? Is it the president of the university? Or is it the kids nobody talks to, the kids that hang out in the background, the ones that get in trouble a lot? And think of that as different websites. So if you think of the captain of the football player being your friend as a really high quality website. Think of it as the whitehouse.gov. If the White House links to your website, it's like the captain of the football team coming to you and saying, I think you're cool, you're my friend now, you automatically start to show up popularly, you start to rank high in the search engine. So you want to not only get as many friends as possible, get as many links to your website as possible, but you want the best quality links, you want the best quality people to be your friends, or the best quality websites to link to your website.
It's funny, I mean, you mentioned whitehouse.gov. You know, when I went to Search Marketing Expo in Seattle a little while ago, and they were talking all about, you know, getting those links from people, all of the strategies to get other websites to link to you, how .edu websites are really valuable to get those .edu websites to link back to you. But, you know, ultimately what you need to do 100% is make sure that as you're creating pages and you want to get those pages indexed, that each one of those pages has unique and individual content on it, like Howard was saying. You know, at Demandbase, we have that database of business contacts on the back end, and as we wanted to build our organic traffic, we built a directory of those contacts so that we could get it searched by Google. And over the past, 2.5 years, through the creation of that network, we went from about 10,000 unique visitors per month organic to 500,000 last month through the power of that content. But part of a hiccup, and learn from my mistake, when we built that out at first, Google got really excited and our traffic went up really high. Spike. Then Google noticed that a lot of the content on those pages looked a lot like content on other pages on the site, and it went down again.
Just
So
as
then
a,
we had to go back to the drawing board, make sure every page was unique, make sure all the title tags, all the descriptions, all of the keywords were unique on every single page, and that's when it started to go up again.
yeah, just as a quick takeaway, what you can control on your page is the title of the page. Make sure it's relevant, the description, the keyword tags. Use Google Webmaster Tools because it will show you which pages on your site are being indexed, if the spiders are being stopped anywhere, and then Google Analytics is very helpful as well.
And use your free consulting because you asked the question. Just make sure you give me your business card before you leave here. How about right here?
It's funny that Howard should speak about that because that's exactly what my question does with Webmaster Tools. There's a situation where a site is showing that URLs from the XML sitemap are being indexed, but then they disappear and they're no longer there. And Google has actually come back and said that it's having problems verifying the fact that these links are out there. Now we know Google isn't using browsers. We do a browser that gives you 200 OK every single time, so we read it's not there. But they're having those, and I know that Google does 2 hits. They first do the hit when you put your XML sitemap in just to verify that the page is there. Then there's a second hit to actually index that particular page. And somewhere in there, there's an issue going on. So I was wondering if you possibly had any insight on it.
Well, some of the things we've run into with that is, I guess my question to you is, do you also have a static HTML sitemap on your site?
I advise the customers to actually build it.
Yes.
They're in the process of doing it.
So that's probably a pretty good idea because you can submit things through the XML sitemap. But if the search engine comes through and doesn't have any way through the HTML to actually go follow links, or if you have no follow tags, or you have duplicate content, or you're not using the canonical tags, those are the sorts of issues you could run into.
And then,
Well, it's interesting because I told them to get rid of the duplicate content, do the rel equals canonical, and everything pretty much you just said.
You're doing your job.
and then you could, there's, if you go to tools.seobook.com, they have, a lot of their tools are premium now, but you can sign up for a free account. They have amazing, amazing tools in there, and there's one that you can basically run like a checker through your site, and it'll say if there's any problems, if there's anything you're missing, things that you won't find in Webmaster Tools. It'll say if it's not coming up with any information. So I definitely run through some of the SEO book tools just to see if there's any problems, like if they have flash on their page or if you don't notice that the page is being no followed. So really good, quick, easy way to figure out, identify problems.
All right, who's ready to do an audit of a campaign? Here?
I'm interested in having these guys look at a SERP and look at our site's position on the SERP and give me, like, hey, what do we do? Because we've done a bunch of link building. We're not doing any paid marketing right now, but I'm interested in looking at that and just, like, where would we start if we're doing paid or further organic? Is that a fair start?
Can I get my laptop?
Sure.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for me to jump down in a skirt. No one told me that there wasn't going to be a table in front of me.
You want me to bring it up?
Oh, this one's not mine, but
What could I bring up?
I'm going to jump down, and we'll just start without me. I'm going to try not to. It's really loud.
So what, while Lauren's getting set up, why don't we take another question?
Make any comments about how we can take the SEO and SEM lessons learned like the app exchange?
Well,
I'll let Howard give it.
Becoming an increasingly important part of
This isn't yours?
there you can see out on the web.
so you have an app on the App Exchange, and you're trying to figure out how to get traffic to it.
Trying to figure out, more about the traffic that's looking at it, more about the traffic that's clicking it.
So you want a visibility into Salesforce's analytics. I would talk to Sean about that one, actually.
Sean, I want that too.
Yeah.
Can I get that?
So I think, are they providing you with a report right now? Are we providing you with a report? And does the report have what you want or you want more?
More, the ability to, if we can, maximize our exposure on the app exchange based on data getting from the app exchange. The same way that we would do it on Google.
Gotcha. Yeah, I actually don't know the answer to that question, but I will. I can. If you give me your card, I'll follow up with the AppExchange team. I know with the whole AppExchange is rebuilt on Sites, and Sites has native integration with any analytics tool that you want. I just don't know what their roadmap is in terms of providing more visibility for you guys. So, if it's something that specific that you want, let me know, and I'll take it to AppExchange. Lauren, you ready to? Is there something I can show that would be relevant for everybody here, or?
I just have plugins on my computer, but it's okay. We can wing it.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want me to go to the site?
Yeah, if you want.
Can we do the page result for just Austin condos? Because we're a real estate brokerage in Austin, Texas, and we focus on selling the downtown Austin condo market, and we really want to win on this keyword. And right now on this page, we are probably about position 6 or 7 on the page. We're the Good Life Team is the name of our company. And we've got all these other folks that are beating us in the SEO space right now. And I want to know how to win.
So yours is, there it is.
Good Life Team.
Right.
So, by the way, I think you asked a question earlier about SEO and SEM. SEO is this here in the middle. These are natural organic search results. These are paid on the right and on the top.
So you show up 6 or 7. You want to click over to the site and see what's going on there.
Which one is it again?
It's
Good Life Team.
Good Life. It's right there.
That didn't cost them anything.
And you may want to, there's a video player that may start, and you may need to pause it. It's suck up a bunch of bandwidth.
How long have you had that domain? How old is the domain?
The domain has been owned by the company for about 8 years, 7 years, I think.
So it's mature.
It's mature. The website is new. It's WordPress based. It's a WordPress site that we launched about 60 days ago, and we're still tweaking it.
I mean, are you doing better or worse since you overhauled the site?
I'm noticing some more results from our blog entries. Like we're getting more long tail results. I think the indexing is helping us there. But I haven't noticed a big spike. Actually, we had some traffic drop off first.
Have any of your rankings changed since you switched over to WordPress?
Not substantially. We haven't really seen a rankings change. We've been at position 5 or 6 for Austin condos. We've been at position 3 for Austin, Texas condos.
Okay.
We're, I think, at the tail end of the first page for Austin real estate agent.
So one of the first problems I see is
Your site's not up.
Your site's not up. Which, it's always helpful for that. No, obviously, load speed is going to be important, how much code you're pushing out right away. Have you thought about doing things like actually having a page for Austin condos? So,
once you hit our competitors, like the Escape Somewhere, just look at some of the other guys we're fighting with right now, because that would be also interesting to me, is to say, here's what they're not doing, or here's what they're doing poorly.
I cannot in good conscience click on their paid ads, but if they have organic.
No, I mean, their organics are all
their top organic. Right here?
Yeah, like in town Austin's fine.
There you go.
We're beating those guys now.
it's really hard to evaluate, their site as opposed to yours without actually looking at the code, looking at how, the top 5 are actually doing, how their link structure works, what their navigation is like. So in terms of that sort of...
You guys can do what you're willing to do for free on stage and do work. I mean, I got big brains here, so.
I think I'm sorry, I really have terrible eyesight. There's a lot of really, really good tools that'll at least point you in the right direction, and I'm a big fan of doing as little work as possible and getting the maximum results for it. I just prefer to spend my time doing other things. So if you don't mind and you pretend not to look at my username and password, I can pull up a few different tools and nothing is definitive, but it'll just go through a couple of examples and it'll either tell you if your anchor text is wrong, you need more links, if there's a problem with your website. But it'll take me like 2 minutes to get everything together.
But we can't get to his website, so we're not going to be able to run it.
I just need to log into a couple of different tools that I have.
I should be getting my phone should be exploding right now if the site is down.
Yeah.
Like it does. I have monitoring on
Okay.
it. So.
Did you give us the names of the tools?
Yeah.
You mentioned SEO book.
Yep, SEO book. It's SEObook.com, and it's tools.seobook.com. They also have a forum if you're new to SEO. The other ones that I want to pull up is SEOmoz.org.
Yeah, that's a great one as well.
They're inside of their labs. They have this great tool, and it's a really good visual tool. SEOmoz.org. If we skip to the next question, I could pull up my account really quick.
Another one is HubSpot.
HubSpot's great.
The website
Yep.
creator.
Website. Yep.
HubSpot.
See, I'm getting here. I don't know what's going on up there
Could be connectivity issues.
Okay.
because it's loading like a champ.
Maybe everyone's chattering already.
Is there another site we can actually pull up?
Yep. If you guys want to pull up something else, then I could log on to the computer since I have no internet.
You have one, Laura?
Can I jump on the computer?
Why don't we take another question in the meantime?
Well, how does
Yeah.
well before we go on, how does your ranking compare now after the redesign? Are you doing better or?
We're doing about the same. We're sitting at position 5 and position 6 for Austin condos, which we care about. The handful of keywords we care about, we haven't really moved yet. So I don't know if 60 days is long enough for us to start seeing some movement there. But we have WordPress, the sitemap, the HTML sitemap, redid all the title tags, descriptions, all of that has been redone. And so
You don't have any old pages out there that
no,
are dead links that aren't redirected and.
I've done redirects for like the top 200 of everything that's in the Webmaster Tools where it says it's like this is not being found. I've redirected. So it's like 200 links that we've redirected. So I think I've done everything. Right. But
One thing I was thinking about, and it's just a guess, but are some of the competitors above you, are those more on the local side, or are they more national and Austin's one of their...
we have 2 national competitors. There's Condo.com, that's one of them, and then the other one I don't remember. And then most of them are local. And Austin's pretty competitive with the web. In the real estate industry, we have a lot of tech people that made money at Dell, and they went to go sell real estate and do all this link building
Right.
stuff. And so like the people above us, we have 1,200 inbound links.
I was just wondering if it may be that a lot of searchers really want a local outfit, a local website, and that I wonder if your title tag and your page description might just get some easy tweaks to make it more apparent that you're local and you're not just plugging in Austin.
That's a good suggestion.
And then also, again, I think, sometimes results can be moved just by simple click-through rates on actual natural results.
That's a great point. The more people actually click on your link, the higher it's going to go.
And so you guys have this, the good life at the end, which is all good. Who doesn't love the good life? But I wonder if maybe if you tweaked that, you might get more of the mass appeal.
Why don't we have another question here?
All right. I tried promoting a variety of different things using Facebook ads. And the thing that was really great about Facebook ads, we had a new product that was coming out. The keyword lexicon for that particular product wasn't really as established yet. But the thing that I did know, I didn't really know what keywords to use, but I knew what type of person I wanted to market to, which was a great fit for Facebook ads, because when you set up your ad, it looks like your traditional pay-per-click ad, but you can insert a small image. You pick people who, say, have marketing in their title or belong to marketing groups, or if you sell to IT people, you can put data engineer, and you can pick the types of people that you want to market to rather than keywords, and that's an interesting twist that's different than Google. What didn't work for me was trying to drive free registrations for my product. Hey, get $20 worth of free contacts, click here, get a free trial of the software, go for this. That didn't work that well for me on Facebook. What did work well for me on Facebook, as I was selling to marketers, was events like a free webinar, promoting content that might be interesting to people. Those ads perform really well, and it's become a part and parcel to my webinar planning. Whenever I do a new webinar, I always put up an ad, a Facebook ad promoting that webinar, and I would say just as an estimation, at least 50% of the new leads that I get registered for the webinar that weren't in my database already are coming from my Facebook ad. That's pretty good. You know, I'm granted I'm not doing a Google pay-per-click ad for every individual webinar I'm doing, but I am doing a Facebook ad. It's pretty significant.
In the back.
Jason, what do you think about product on Facebook? Selling product or trying to product with Facebook?
I'm inherently skeptical about selling product, B2B product on Facebook. You know, if I saw a really cool T-shirt that I couldn't resist, you know, if I found it on Facebook, I'd go for it. I haven't tried any of those. You know, Facebook, the paid ads on Facebook are the extent of what I've gone, you know, aside from just your traditional pushing content, you know, both my own and relevant content that might be interesting to my followers on Twitter or things of that nature. You know, I did install Twitter for Salesforce recently, and that's opened up some interesting ideas, you know, especially on sort of the campaign influence side that I can talk to you about offline later.
So one of my clients has, we've just started to test running on LinkedIn Direct, and no one's really talked about LinkedIn today, but LinkedIn's a social network, and it's B2B. And so far, in the first couple weeks, I can tell everyone that A, it's working, and B, we're just not sure it's going to scale well. And it's not, you don't...
They do some interesting things in the ads that they offer, the ability to do surveys and, you know, a lot of really neat stuff on the LinkedIn stuff.
I think LinkedIn Direct is the self-service platform, and that's what we're using. And it's not so much keywords, but it's, you know, kind of seniority of the person in their title and industry and geo-target, that sort of thing. So far, it's definitely, I think, worth a test based on our first couple weeks of results.
It looks like you were able to pull it
Why
out.
don't we see, you can kind of see Lauren's process here that she's doing. Why don't she talk us through this really quick, and then we'll take a couple more questions. We've got about 10 more minutes.
Okay, we'll do this super quick. So I just pulled up a report in SEOmoz.org. It's a great visualization tool. It just tells you, if you have no idea where to start, if you're wondering why you're not ranking on something, and you want to say, well, where do I start? This is a great tool to tell you where to start. So I compared your site to just another site that's ranking higher than you to figure out where you're lacking and what their strengths are, and you could tell by the circles. And intownaustintowers.com is red, and this goes over the data. So it looks like from an off-page perspective, your biggest problems are the people above you have more links, which basically just tells you need to get more links from multiple domains. Right now, they have 863 links. You have 255 links.
Neither of those are our site. Those are
Okay.
competitors.
Yeah, okay.
Those are competitors. That's good.
Yeah. And your competitors have that. And then also they have another report in here that just tells you how your URL relates to a particular term. So intownaustin.com has a B grade. They're missing H1 tags. There are not enough links with that anchor text. Anchor text basically is the text of the link that's pointing to your site. So if you pull up these two tools, it'll say really quick, it's absolutely not that in-depth, but if it comes up and says, what's your site missing? What does your site need? And are there on-page factors that I can fix? So these are just two great reports to do it for like a 30-second, 2-minute, what do I need to look at tomorrow? This is a paid version?
That's the paid.
Yeah.
I just want to add as a takeaway, just so I feel remiss if we didn't get to my takeaways. Real important, if you guys are doing Google AdWords, don't link it to your homepage. Have a landing page specific to the AdWords that you're doing and the messaging that's in the ads. If you haven't used marketing automation, it's an amazing tool. There's amazing tools out there. One of the biggest problems marketers have is sales says your leads are crap or we're not getting enough of them. Marketing automation is a real great way to work with sales to develop scoring and workflow so that marketing and sales gets on the same page. So I really recommend that. Yeah.
We're getting ready to launch this year, and we're going to be allocating a lot of money towards Google AdWords. How much would you recommend
the good news is your competitors' brand names.
So the question was, they're about ready to launch a pretty big Google AdWords campaign. How much spend should they allocate towards buying their competitors' keywords?
I thought it was competitors' names,
Names?
the brand names.
I mean,
I was going to say, the good news is your brand name and their brand names are typically the cheapest keywords out there.
10 cents.
So you should definitely set it up. And you know, you can gauge what, you know, how if you should boost the spend or whatnot later.
Yeah, I think that's, you know, one of the beautiful
But
things
they're
about...
cheap keywords. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
You
of course, your own branded terms are going to be, you know, cheap, 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 and usually no reason not to bid on your own branded terms because it's inexpensive and you may as well. But number two is the keyword terms, the brand terms of your competitors. There's no good reason to not bid on those and test those. Those are typically going to be relatively very, very expensive because most folks that type in those keywords, they're already going for that brand. And so your click-through rate relative to other advertisers is going to typically be low, and so your quality score will be low. Your average cost per click will be very, very high. But at the end of the day, the great thing about paid search is you can test it and you can figure out if it's worthwhile or not. And that's the key, is you don't need to allocate budget up front. You just need to allocate, you know, a few $100s just of test budget. After that, the numbers kind of make your decision for you.
And that you could also, depending on what industry you're in, what kind of industry they're in, almost do a comparison page of what your advantages are over them, or or if you send them to a landing page that says why your product, why your company is better than everyone else, or what your main strengths are. And if you mention their name a little on the page, that might help with quality score. But I would definitely, instead of just bidding on your competitor's brand name, have that tie-in on page, have that landing page tie-in that not only if they come to your site versus when they click on a competitor, really sell them your product.
Yeah, right here.
When you're looking at keywords that are used, you know, to gain organic searches versus the SEM programs, do you generally recommend using the same keywords, or, you know, is it suggested internally that perhaps we should focus the SEM programs on the keywords that are not ranking more organically, or what do you usually recommend to your customers?
Well, I really recommend testing all keywords, paid keywords, and then figuring out from there which ones convert, and then focusing your SEO efforts on the ones that convert, so eventually you can reduce your pay-per-click spend, and you know, hopefully the SEO will lower your overall costs.
How about in the back here? Yep.
Question about landing pages. Like, you know, our product is actually takes a lot of information to kind of get a point across. So everyone always says that you're really short to the point. What happens if, you know, you need to get more information than outside our landing page? Like, we lose all the analytics, we lose all that data that exists to our website and different pages. How big, how small, how precise should
Testing is really, really important. And I think a lot of it depends on where they are in the buying cycle. If they're just looking for some information, I don't know how you monetize and if it's a lead form or if you're doing lead gen. But you may, if they're early enough in the buying cycle, you may want to start off by having one of your main offers actually being a white paper or being information on what your product is and what your product does. I personally, when I search, I have the attention span of a 5-year-old, and if you don't tell me what I'm looking for in 15 seconds or less, I'm going somewhere else. I do click on paid search ads, and I click on paid search ads because I want an instant answer.
Yeah, I agree with that. 3 or 4 points, have a nice graphic, you know, discuss their pain point in your solution, offer something else. You can track beyond your landing page, but really, you know, if your goal is to collect some information from them, then collect that information there.
So I've seen some, some clients of ours have, I think, achieved good success where they kind of keep to all these rules that we're talking about and keep it short and simple and, you know, bullet points and, you know, boldface and this and that. But, you know, one way to kind of enable the user to potentially click for more information is maybe have a tab system. And if the user wants to, they can click a tab. Maybe the lead form stays with them on the page no matter what tab they go to, so you're not losing that user. But that's one way to deal with it is information up front, easy, but also have the ability for the user to click on other information. But I think it's pretty important to always have that form follow the user.
And the other thing you can do is just, if you sign up for Google Optimizer, it will allow you to do free multivariate testing so that you can find out what actually is effective.
There's companies out there that can help you and will do an audit of your landing pages. The company I'm thinking of in particular is called Marketing Experiments. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, I'll be honest, I've heard they're pretty pricey if you hire them on for a full-on consulting engagement, but if you do go to a search marketing show, odds are they're going to be there, they're going to have a booth, and they'll give you the quick 5-minute off-the-cuff audit of your landing page. And just what they can tell you in 5 minutes about your landing page is pretty amazing. So I recommend them very highly. Marketing Experiments is the name of the company. And they're the parent company of another company called Marketing Sherpa, which has a lot of great content about marketing.
As a baseline, as far as testing your keywords, is there a certain number of impressions or clicks that you like to look at? At that point, decide you can make a good determination on the keyword at that point?
So you're really talking about the delta of your confidence level. It really depends on how much traffic. If your product is a $100,000 product, you're going to have very few searches. So you really have to feel it out depending on.
If you tell a customer, I want to run an ad for 5 days, collect some information on your market or whatnot, you wait till there's maybe 1,000 clicks, or you start making decisions?
Again, it greatly depends on how much traffic and what's going on.
I think it depends on your own metrics. So let's say you've defined for success a lead submission, a 7-field lead form. And when a user successfully submits that, you call that a conversion. And let's say that you're willing to pay about $100 out of the gate for each conversion. One way to look at it is to test keywords up until they've spent $100 or maybe $80 if you kind of doubt that the keyword's really going to do well. And you don't necessarily spend it all in one day. It depends on traffic and other things. But you don't necessarily cut keywords and decide that they're bad until maybe they have hit a certain spend plateau that you determine, okay, I think I can call that keyword a loser.
And I always give everything at least a week because the weekend performs very differently than during the week, and I think I'm supposed to wrap up, so I'm going to keep this short. Always do at least a week and avoid holidays when you're testing.
So we're about out of time. I want to thank you all for coming and thank you for your questions. And if you would like some free consulting on SEO or SEM or anything around driving targeted traffic to your website and capturing it in Salesforce, feel free to drop your card off with myself and Lauren. These 3 are going to cost you. Thank you.